Now let's start this way. VDM collected 100 million from the government to start a government-style kind of protest. That is one, right? Secondly, VDM went to a protest ground, and when he saw that the people that were really affected as a result of the economic hardship in the society decided to leave the protest ground, and he was escorted by the military. And apart from that, he told his followers to stop shouting, Tinubu must go. VDM is a sponsored agent, right? That is the narrative going on ground. First of all, let me clear this impression. The fact is, I'm not a VDM. I'm not a VDM follower or his fan or however you will call it. But the fact is, in all fairness, I think for the country to progress, we must tell ourselves the truth. And what is the truth we have to tell ourselves here? The fact is, all these things are wrong narratives that are divisive in nature. Why do I say this? Let's put things straight. Is VDM in communication with the apparatus of the government of the nation? The fact is absolutely yes. Except you are stupid to think that somebody with that influence doesn't have a communication with the apparatus of government that thinks that this person is powerful and he exerts a lot of momentum, that at the end of the day, a single utterance can actually mar or make whatever we are up to. Right? That is the reality. But does that make him a stool pigeon? I think in all fairness and sincerity, that doesn't make him a stool pigeon. That makes him a human being. A human being just like you and I. And why do I say this? Because the fact is, this is a young man here. He has not even started living his life. He has a lot of life to live ahead. That is number one. And secondly, I'm trying to mind my language here. Why are people of that opinion in Nigeria that a kind of revolutionary movement that is required to transform the nation must definitely come from a man, and a man, a known person, must be the person to lead that? Because looking at it now, history-wise or any otherwise, the fact is, the Messiah syndrome is actually evident in Nigeria. And why do I say a Messiah syndrome? A Messiah syndrome, just like in the situation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a situation where people act as if they don't know what needs to be done. They require a leader to actually pass the message and somebody to be held accountable. And by so doing now, you are digging an early grave to whoever pioneered this. And even in the likes of them Showore, who believe that somebody must come out to lead this protest, that they will say that the government will say, nah, this person, nah, in lead them, nah, in start them. And they will now start piling up frivolous charges. In regards to the reason why you said Tinubu must go, you were planning this, and as a result of this, lives has been lost as a result of this. And at the end of the day, they will come for you. And when they come for you, now what would typical Nigerians do? Say, oh, justice for you, justice for you. After a week, it has gone down. You are now left, just like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to confront the realities. Though kudos to even the followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that at least they are still obeying sit at home, Abi, in remembrance of him. But I tell you, in a typical Nigerian setting, it will take less than a week for Nigerians to move on and be waiting for the next Messiah that will come to liberate them, despite the fact that The hardship is evident. Everything is evident. And in this vein, I will tell you sincerely speaking, the kind of revolutionary movement or the protest that would transform Nigeria must be a kind of a movement that doesn't have a known leadership, that they will say this is the person. You will only have factional leaders, people that have bought into the ideas and have decided to carry it on. Just like when they say the hardship is too much, we need to come out and protest. All that is expected is Nigerians are coming up. A lot of groups, a lot of factions with their leaders, everybody is now coming out and say, okay, we must sustain this and we must continue with this. We don't have a leader. Just like the situation of the NSAS. And just like what happened in the likes of them, Napoli, Kenya, and the rest of it, there was never a known person that said, nah, this person, nah, in charge. That is what the government is looking for. And when they put this person behind banner, I am telling you, people will do nothing more than coming to say, release him, justice for him. But the fact is, he's wallowing in, he keeps wallowing in hardship and the conditions that people have subjected him to. So what I'm just trying to say is, revolutionary movement in Nigeria, protest or whatever, must have to be born out of the desire and the need for people to have a positive change, not by virtue of leadership. This Messiah syndrome, this Jesus Christ syndrome that people are looking up to. It's just as if people are trying to set people up. Look at what has happened with Sowore recently now. Sowore now, all he has done now is just advocate for better Nigeria. But is it not in the same Nigeria that people are now celebrating that he collapsed while protesting? And funny enough, these are the same caliber of Nigerians that you are fighting for, and you want to bring about transformation. And the next thing they tell you, this is not an activist, this is a politician. And this is how it goes. At the end of the day, the way it looks in Nigeria is like a situation like people are looking for who to crucify. And when they crucify, they come and wait for the next person again to stand up that they will crucify and go back to sleep. So what I'm basically trying to say is, till every Nigeria see the need for people to hold the government accountable, whether with a leadership or without even a leadership, that is when we will now talk about transformation. Not this Messiah syndrome and the blame game. Everybody is pushing, trying to have the next Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that they are going to send to prison. That is the reality.